Man coverage is nearly unstoppable in college football 27, so if you don't know how to beat it, you're going to be in for a really long year. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down the complete guide to beating man coverage every single play with 5 tips that'll basically have you never getting locked down again. I will warn you though, the last tip that I'm breaking down in this video is the best, so if you skip out on it, it could be the reason you're still getting locked up. I wouldn't want that to happen to you, so let's jump right into the video. The first tip to beating man coverage here in college football 27, believe it or not, is actually running the ball. Let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so we're going to be breaking down what running the ball and what are the best runs that you should be calling. Alright, so really what you want to make sure that you're doing, you're coming into a formation like gun, power, eye tight here. This is in the West Virginia and power spread formations. And then you also want to make sure that you have a great ball carrier here at this spot. So here, if I'm using Alabama, I'm going to put my gadget at halfback. And here's the key when you're calling this. Alright, you want to make sure that you respot the ball, or that obviously you have it on the wide side actually in a game that you're playing. You always want to be running to the wide side so that you have plenty of space. But what you're going to notice is you're going to be able to get the ball out in the edge. And yes, did I get tackled in the backfield there? Yes, but I was one broken tackle away, one block away from being able to rip off a huge gain and being able to turn this into a huge gain or a touchdown down the field. That's really the thing with man coverage here, is you're really trying to align their defense all to one side and then go the other way. So I'm going to put them in random man coverage here just so that we can see a couple of different looks. But all we see is if we draw a line right down the middle with the center, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defenders over here that are essentially going to have really no impact on this play. And so because we're going the other way. So we go the other way, we speed boost again, and then we make Bray Hubbard miss, and so we're able to turn that into a really big gain down the field. And so you're constantly going to be able to do this because they just don't have enough guys that side. We're running the other way, and if 88 holds his block right there, we have a big play. And the reason why you want to have like a gadget player here is so that when it's a one-on-one tackling situation like that, I'm just able to spin him out and be able to rip off a touchdown run just like that. So there's no like touchdown guarantee on this play. That's not what I'm promising you. I'm just saying when you call an off tackle or a pitch type of handoff and they're in man coverage, a lot of the time most of their defenders are going to be to the wrong side and you're going to go the other way. But let me show you another great run play here to beat man coverage in CFB 27. And so this is going to be from gun bunch tight end here. We're going to come into halfback off tackle, all right? And so really what we're trying to do with this run, very similar, where we're going to be able to seal the edge and give ourselves a cutback lane or be able to keep it all the way to the edge. Now, I do prefer the first run that I showed you, but you're able to see how this run still has the opportunity to be able to get all the way to the edge. Now, what I'll say is if you have a gadget, a halfback package when you're running the ball in this game, like I just want to make sure that I'm handing the ball off to my best ball carrier. And so sometimes, a lot of the time, honestly, with some of these teams, your best ball carrier is your wide receiver. And you want to be able to get him the ball so that you can speed boost into open space and turn these, instead of losing a yard, into like a 6-yard scamper or a touchdown potentially. So I'm able to get to my spot, I'm going to speed boost away from that guy, and then I'm able to rip off a 20-yard run because I have a guy who actually has the ratings and the abilities to be able to speed boost. So again, speed boost here, I'm going to run right up to that guy. Anytime you have like Platinum 360 or spin cycle like Ryan Williams has, it's guaranteed that you're going to be able to spin that guy out and you basically dumb out his pursuit angle. So that's really the reason why I'm going to have him here. But as soon as you just press circle, as long as you have enough space between you and the defender, you're going to break his ankles every time and turn this into easy yards. You see the gap's open, and then I'm able to run through it. So not only is halfback off tackle really great, but also the toss play from gun power eye tight. Both of these are going to be plays that you need to be calling if you want to be able to beat man coverage consistently in CFB 27. Alright, next I want to break down the best man beating route concept that also happens to be the easiest and the most timeless every single year. Let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so that's really just going to be a mesh concept here. And so a lot of plays actually have built-in mesh concepts. Now, I would recommend you do this from a bunch or a tight formation because the defenders are going to be more clustered up and closer together. So this formation, gun bunch tight end, actually has, a couple of mesh concepts here. So I'll just go ahead and call this one mesh dig. So we're going to have them in random man coverage. And so really with the mesh concept, it's about as simple as it sounds. It's two drags. Now, whatever you want to do around the route concept is, up to you, whether you want to have a crosser, you want to have an in route like we do here. But the reason why you're going to use the mesh concept is you're looking for bumping on defense. You're going to identify the bump, and then you're going to throw to the target that got bumped. So really what that looks like here is our tight end. The guy that's manned up to him gets bumped through all this traffic. He bumped one time, he bumps twice, actually 3 times, and then our guy's going to be wide open. So really the biggest thing for you is when you're calling a mesh concept, actually reading who gets bumped and who's open. Like right there, it's not guaranteed that bumping happens necessarily, but when you're running a whole bunch of guys across the face of each other, it's going to make it much harder for them to keep up. Like right there, that's really great man coverage until it's not, until the guy gets bumped, and so that gives us an easy opportunity to hit him, out there on the flat, just like that. So again, we take the snap, pretty good man coverage up to here, and then all it takes is this tight end bumping into this guy, and that's all it takes for us to have this over here free form the ball away from him, which is something we'll talk about later in the video. But this is going to work regardless if they're impressed like they were there or if they're an off man like they are right here. So you're going to see it again. Boom, take it. I mean, this time he has a free release, so he's easily going to be able to get across the field and turn that into easy yards. So again, if they're backed off, it makes the mesh concepts even better because sometimes you don't even need the bumping for it to work, but you're still able to see how he's wide open just because he has that free release. But this is probably the most useful when they're in press man because you kind of need that bumping and that, kind of mesh to happen in order for you guys to create separation. Right, so you're going to see how, again, right there, I mean, that's pretty sticky man coverage, and that also allows for their pass rush to play really well because they don't have to defend for that long. And so we're just going to kind of counter that by having good pocket presence, moving around in the pocket, stepping towards my target. Again, great man coverage here, but he gets bumped once and really twice right there, and that's really all it takes for us to turn that into easy yards. So you can really build mesh concepts into any play that you're calling, but it's pretty mandatory that you're using them when you're playing against man coverage, having other routes around the mesh, but making sure you're having two drags, create that bumping, and get some of your receivers and tight ends wide open out in space. Alright, so if you found this breakdown helpful so far of how to beat man coverage in college football 27, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down CFB 27 tips and tricks just like this every single day to help you guys get better, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you're serious about transforming your offense here in college football 27, you're tired of losing to man coverage, you're tired of knowing or not knowing what plays to call, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to grab my full Alabama offensive ebook here, which is full videos, screenshots, write-ups, and macros for you to save on your phone during gameplay. You can use code YouTube to get 20% off. I highly recommend you check it out. It's proven to work, ran by me in all of my games, and I've been dominating with it. So go down below, grab it today, and let's jump right back into the video. Because next I'm breaking down the best passing settings you need to be using if you want to be able to beat man coverage every single play. Let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so we're going to come into our options, come into our settings. Or you can actually do these in the main menu. You don't have to be in-game to do them, but we're going to come into passing type. Placement and accuracy is the one you want. You want to make sure, that you have pass lead increase on small. This is going to extend the pass lead distance that you have to allow you to get the ball further away from defenders when you need to. I'd recommend you have this on. And then reticle speed between 5 and 20. I have mine on 8 right now. So really what we're going to see is we're going to come into really any play. We'll go ahead, again, put them in random man coverage here. And it really doesn't matter the play that you're calling. This is the best universal settings to be able to basically beat man coverage from any play that you call. So what we're going to see, I'm just going to call corner strike here from gun bunch offset. And the reason why freeform is so important is to get the ball away from defenders. Like you need, if you're going to throw that pass, that ball needs to be led behind him. The defender's already in front of him, basically running the route for him. You need the ball to be led behind him. And so again, we're going to see it right here where if we have a drag route on the field, we need the ball to be led in front of my tight end. Like, you see how he kind of had to reach up to grab that ball? That's going to slow him down when he's already open. Like, he already beat his man. We just need to get the ball out in front of him to allow for him to catch it in stride, get a rat catch, and be able to pick up even more yards. So that's really where freeform passing is really going to help you out. One of the most, useful ways is getting the ball out in front. But you also notice how, like, no one's open right here, but I'm still going to be able to freeform that pass or try to find my guy down the field. So it's like sometimes there's only one place that you can put the ball in order for it to be a completion. Like, I mean, obviously man coverage, very annoying to play against because you never know who's going to be open. But like right there, my tight end's open. I need to get the ball out in front of him, not let that defender, really break on that pass and knock it away. So, we continue to go with it here. This is another example. I need that ball to be out in front of that receiver. At that time, I did freeform it. He's able to catch it in stride and turn that into a big gain down the field. So, I mean, freeform is important, certainly when they're running zone coverage, but especially when they're running man, the little details of being able to get the ball out in front of your receiver like this, like I do here, instead of it being like thrown behind him where the DB has an opportunity to break on it, that's going to be really important. And so how you're going to freeform, I keep bringing that up, but you're just holding the left trigger as you're throwing the ball. So there's certainly pass leading, right? And so what pass leading is you're just going to tap the button of the receiver and then aim the left stick where you want it to be. And that's going to give you a pass lead to put the ball really where you want it. But freeform takes that to another level because it allows you to put the ball out further in front of where pass leading is. So now what I'm going to do is if I want to throw this ball to RB, I'm going to hold left trigger, aim the left stick where I want the ball to go, and then press RB to throw to him. So boom, now I'm going to do exactly what I just said, and you're going to see how that ball's led exactly perfectly in front of him to where he just goes like this, he brings it in, he's able to catch it in stride and turn it into easy yards down the field. So really, that's going to be your best friend when you're playing against man, is actually using the right freeform settings to be able to get the ball out in front of your receivers exactly where you want it to be and not leave the placement of the ball to basically up to player ratings. You want to make sure that you're putting it exactly where it needs to be by using those freeform settings and then holding left trigger when the ball is about to be thrown. Alright, before I jump to those final two tips, again, that you're absolutely not going to want to miss on beating man coverage in College Football 27, I wanted to remind you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down College Football 27 tips and tricks just like this every single day, and I'm the only one that's going to do it every single day for you guys. So what are you thinking? Go down below, hit that subscribe button today, and let's jump to those final two tips. Because that next one is going to be the best RPOs in order to beat man coverage. RPOs are some of the easiest plays to utilize in this game, and I'm going to show you one of the best that I use every single game. Alright, so that play here is going to be RPO read Y flat from Gun Trips tight end. Now, I'm in the Alabama playbook for this play, alright, and it's obviously in my Alabama offensive ebook here, but you do not want to get this confused with shift RPO alert Y flat, alright? It's a different play. This one has a shift, which is going to slow your offense down, and so I want to be able to walk up to the line and really snap this ball without really any issues here. So, you also, another key, you want to make sure you're tripped on the wide side when you're calling this, so you don't really want the ball to be in the middle of the field. You don't want it to be on the short side. You want to give your three receivers, specifically Rodgers here in this case, plenty of room to be able to get out here to the flat. So all we're going to do, we're going to press Y, we're going to press X, right trigger, to put them on the flat, and now this is going to be our play. Because what I want you to pay attention to here is he's going to make a beeline out towards the sideline to be able to turn this into easy yards. So we're going to take the snap, we're going to throw that, and so it's like that's another example actually of freeform, where I didn't freeform that pass and that ball was behind him, giving the defender an opportunity to make a play on it. But he making this beeline out here to the sideline is exactly what you want against man, because he bumps, and if I can freeform this ball outside, now I have plenty of room to be able to catch it in stride. Right, so boom, we're going to go with it again. This time I'm going to freeform it, and that's what I mean when I say I'm holding left trigger. I'm putting the ball away from the defender so that he doesn't have an opportunity to break on it. Because essentially, the way man coverage logic works in this game is these guys, they try to shoot the gap and close this space in between this receiver, and that ends up with them getting bumped all the time. Instead of trying to go around, like basically in basketball, like under the screen, they're not trying to do that. They're just trying to close this space and that's what ends up getting them bumped, which is what makes his RPO, when you put him on the flat, that much better, because what too many of you guys do is you leave the bubble when you're calling this play. You leave the bubble, and now if they're in man coverage, he's right there to break on it, and you're going to have no chance to throw that. So it's like, that's really what you're trying to do here with this play. You're trying to make sure that you put him on the flat to make sure that he gets out to the sideline sooner, and then you cause a lot of this bumping here with this defender, and you make it really easy for your receiver to be able to catch that ball, and sometimes turn this into a huge gain or even a touchdown. So that's really what I like here with this play. You also have the tight end on the other side. Like, you could also throw this tight end flat. Now, obviously, if they're in man coverage, that tight end flat's not going to be quite as good as the receiver flat. And if they are pressed, there will be times where you can't really throw this receiver flat just because the defender does a great job. But you still see how right there, that's what I'm talking about, where he tries to shoot the gap, and we can just freeform the ball right over his head for a huge gain, even though he's in pressed man. But it really doesn't get any easier than this. Every time, like, when I didn't freeform it, it was incomplete, but really every time I've been able to freeform this, we've had this for an easy completion. This defender has no chance whether he's pressed or off, and so it's really just going to be about making the read between, can I really throw this flat? Do I trust it? Or would I rather just look out here to the other side, to the other tight end flat, which could also be a net positive for you. And then also, don't force anything, right? You can also just hand the ball off up the middle to Deer, and that's going to be, you know, normally an easy game through the middle, especially if they don't shoot the gap with their user. But this is going to be one of the best RPOs to help you be able to beat man coverage, is actually just putting your receiver on a flat and then making the determination of, do I want to throw the ball or do I just want to hand it off to my running back, you know, underneath on that handoff. But again, RPO read wide flat, gun trips tight end, put that receiver on a flat, and start reaping the benefits. Alright, so like I promised, the fifth and final man-beating tip of this video is going to be the best, because there's actually a glitch play that's super fantastic against man coverage here in this game. Let me show you what that is. Alright, so we are in the Washington State play, or excuse me, we're in the Boise State playbook here, and we're going to be calling our play is going to be divide X whip in. Alright, so this is going to be our play. Now, you want to make sure that you have your bunch X nasty here on the wide side of the field so that your receivers have plenty of room to run. But this is going to be a fantastic man-beating play. If you want, you can call it stock like this, or you could drag your tight end, block your halfback if you want a little bit more extra protection here. But we're going to take this snap, and this corner route to RB is pretty often going to do a really great job of creating separation. What I want you to understand about man coverage in this game specifically is these routes can beat man. In previous years, like Madden or College Football 26, there was plays where they would beat man every single time, 10 times out of 10. Here, it's like you're still going to have a coin flip and a chance to beat man. But you do notice how right here that corner out creates separation. I'm able to free-form that ball outside to really make sure that defender doesn't have an opportunity to break on it late. And then I'm going to use timing-based catching to make sure I actually bring that pass in. But right here, again, gonna set up the same route concept. Your speed out, especially if you have like cutter on your receiver, that speed out has the opportunity to beat man coverage as well, and you're just reading it. Does he create separation at the top of the route like he does here? And unfortunately, he just kind of overthrew this pass. Like, you get on to instant replay, he kind of just overthrew this pass, but this is great separation. This is an easy completion out there pretty often for you. And so it's really like you're just going through a read progression. The thing about man is you have to throw the man-beating route when it beats man. You can't say, okay, I see this drag beat his man, but I want the corner route, because there might be a chance where that corner route never beats man. So it's really about going through the read progression, looking first for the tight end on his drag, then the X receiver on his speed out, and then the corner route to RB. But also the B receiver can also beat man coverage as well. But I'm stepping up in the pocket, really see that no one's open right here. And so that's the thing about man too, is like man coverage can, like, everyone can just win. Like, as far as on the defense, and now no one's open. But you do see how that happens right here, where this is fantastic man coverage. I step up and I eat a sack for like 0 yards. Like, we didn't lose any yards, so it's almost like I threw the ball away. I really could have thrown the ball away there, but it's just like I didn't. But that's the thing about man, is why man coverage is so good. But we're going to see it right here, where kind of the same thing was going to look for the B receiver late, but you really have to be solid with your read progression so that you don't miss these receivers as they're, you know, breaking open right here. Great pocket. I'm going to step up. I'm going to get down in the open field. But it's really the corner route that you're, kind of looking for. You would hope to get open. Again, you still have to go through the read progression. But if you can get this corner out in a one-on-one situation down the field and you can try to throw it out there on the sideline, that's exactly what you're trying to get. But we're going to go with it one last time here. Hopefully someone can create separation. Is that open enough? That might be open. No, I didn't green it. We'll go. I can't end on that. We'll go with it one last time here. Again, this is the frustrating thing about man in this game is like you have to kind of just hope that your guys can get open right there. That should be a. Oh my gosh, he dropped the ball. That's what I'm saying. It's like you have to. But this is what I mean when I say you have to put 4 different routes on the field that can beat man, because you have to give yourself as many chances to be able to beat man as possible. Yeah, I'm just not going to sit here all day. We've already seen how, explosive this play can be. But you're just able to see how you put 4 man beaters in the field, and I kind of just missed the read to the tight end drag, this time. Because, look, this receiver gets bumped like crazy, so he's not going to get open. The tight end luckily does get open for us here. I've just got to see that and hit it. I was kind of just locked in on Ryan Williams here. But this is going to be a great play for you to be able to beat man, go through your read progression, and really just hope that, one of your 4 guys gets open, which one of the 4 really should get open every single time. Alright, so if you found that breakdown of 5 tips and 5 plays to be able to beat man coverage here in College Football 27 helpful, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down College Football 27 tips and tricks just like this every single day to help you guys get better, and you don't want to miss out on any of the videos that I have. But if you're serious about transforming your offense here in College Football 27, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to grab my full Alabama offensive ebook, which has the RPOs, the mesh concepts, the money plays that we talked about here in this video. All of them are in that ebook, and it's fully written out for you to save on your phone during gameplay, so you can always be ready to beat man coverage at any moment. So what are you thinking? Go down below, grab that ebook today. And if you want to see me break down the Alabama offense in detail, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.